Modern perception defines Odin as the preeminent god of the Norse pantheon, the ruler of Asgard, and the master of war, magic, and poetry. This investigation explores the possibility that this figure began as a historical leader, a man whose life and movement through the ancient world formed the basis for the later myth. Standard academic consensus often dismisses this idea. The prevailing view is that medieval writers, like Snorri Sturluson, simply fabricated these histories to reconcile pagan gods with their own Christian worldview. This comparison illustrates the difference between that immediate conclusion and a sustained critical inquiry. Moving beyond the surface requires us to analyze primary sources and address complex counterarguments that the easy answer ignores. Dismissing the question entirely overlooks the specific physical evidence that points toward a real event hidden behind the mythological veneer. The challenge is that we lack contemporary inscriptions or a direct ancestry signal that can identify a specific legendary figure. To bridge that gap, we look for convergence, where three independent lines of evidence overlap: geography, logistics, and archaeology. This requires a match between textual geographic memory, physical river routes carrying an elite group, and a visible transformation in the northern archaeological record. If these three separate records align, the presence of a historical leader at the root of the Odin tradition shifts from a mythic claim to a historically grounded possibility. The textual evidence begins with medieval accounts that describe a very specific movement. These sources consistently claim that Odin and his followers migrated into Scandinavia from the east. These records name physical regions and territories, situating the origin within the landscapes of Osseland and Turkland. As this satellite view shows, the tradition anchors this movement to Tanais, the Don River. In the centuries leading up to the Viking Age, this was a critical boundary zone between the steppe and the Roman world. Regardless of the map's precision, the consistency of this directional memory points toward the volatile frontier of the Black Sea. Skepticism regarding a migration of this scale usually centers on logistics. Moving an elite group thousands of miles across the continent appears nearly impossible without modern infrastructure. However, the Dnieper River functioned as an ancient corridor, physically connecting the cultures of the Black Sea to the Baltic. This map traces the established trade and movement systems of the era. The route follows the river networks north, crosses the eastern Baltic, and terminates in the Lake Malin region of Sweden. This was a calculated journey through known Eurasian corridors, making an elite movement from the frontier to the north a logistical reality. At the end of this corridor lies the Lake Malin region, home to Old Uppsala and the sites that would become the heart of Swedish royalty. During the migration period, the northern elite world changed. Burial shifted to emphasize a new martial identity, characterized by elaborate helmets, weaponry, and horse equipment. These graves also reveal access to a distant prestige network. Artifacts like this silver Sasanian-style plate show northern aristocrats adopting the artistic language and luxury items of the East. This period saw the rise of a specialized warrior class, defined by horse prestige culture and the central importance of the royal hall. The archaeological record shows a cultural realignment occurring exactly where the river route terminates, matching the timeline of the migrations described in the texts. This alignment does not suggest a mass colonization or the replacement of the local population. It suggests that a developing northern society adopted an elite Eastern ideology, brought into the region by mobile groups moving along the river corridors. A society that increasingly valued warrior ritual, horse prestige, and sacred ancestry provided the ideal environment for a historical leader to become a cult figure. In this model, the myth of Odin represents the memory of that transformation, a record of a leader whose arrival coincided with the emergence of a new northern elite. Myths often act as the elongated shadows of real historical events, preserved long after the original details have faded. Norse mythology functions as a record of ancient movement and cultural fusion, documenting how the North was reshaped by the world beyond.